G-Show land, and welcome to another episode of the G-Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. Now, before we get into it, I do want to give a special shout out, all my love, my prayers to my boy, my fallen brother, Anthony, who passed away 3 years ago this Monday. I just want to say I miss you. I want to throw this, that was a curveball to you gentlemen in the podcast. I miss you, brother. We all miss you. And this one is dedicated to you. Rest in pepperoni and all that good stuff. And then that out of the way, let me introduce you to the cohorts. It's been a long day. Here on the G-Show podcast. Coming in first, my brother JR. What's going on?
Winner, man. Swing.
Okay, somebody's got the spider fever. Also joining us, my brother Gam Z1. What's up, brother?
Rest in peace, Anthony. You hit me with that curveball real bad. Oh, I missed him.
I'm sorry, brother. And joining us for the first time in a very, 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 very long time, special guest. He gets to wear the crown today. Shinra Jira. Brother, what's going on?
I didn't have anything prepared for this, but rest in peace, Anthony. That's all I got to say.
That's it. Well, and get that out of the way. There's a theme, there's a topic for this particular podcast. But before we get to it, since I got Shinra on, because he is the man when it comes to the toys and stuff. There's a shit ton of merchandise, Godzilla merchandise news that's been dropping over the past 2 weeks, and I alluded to us talking about it in the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Dominion trailer. And here we're going to break it down, especially Shinra, because he's here, along with Gam and JR. Gam and JR, as y'all know, are my resident toy geeks. When I need news on figures, they're the ones I go to. I mean, Chase does also, but these two guys are my go-tos. But I'm going to start with you, special guest, Shinra. What do you think of these, the new lines announced and everything coming down the pipe?
Well, specifically Super 7, I mean, they came gate swing. We've got 62 Mothra. We've got 57 Godzilla, which, who the hell was expecting that? Like, 57 Godzilla? Drew's got something to say about that. But no, it's honestly really, really exciting. And to have a lineup like that and to announce their Super Cyborg Mechagodzilla to go along with that, with all the removable panels and stuff, I mean, that's one hell of a way to update people on your line that's been, where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? And now it's here, and we have all that information on the Ultimates as well. I mean, I'm nothing but excited. And if these Ultimates look as good as I feel like they're going to look, I have no reason to pick up another SHMA figure beyond that. Because, dude, $170 for some big boys like that, accessories, articulation, I'm good. I'm good. And the new Playmate stuff is cool, too.
What do you think the quality is going to be like? Like, better than SH Monster Arts, a little more high def than NECA?
I mean, I don't own any of their Ultimates, so I really don't know what to gauge on all of that. But I don't think it's going to outright replace SH Monster Arts as a whole. It's just personally looking at their Ultimates that they have done in the past and knowing and, well, hearing what this guy had to say about them and how jazzed he is about it, I'm really hyped. Like, I'm really, really hyped to see what they're doing. I love that it's going to be, instead of waves of 4, it's going to be waves of 2. So, and they're going to be called battle packs. So it's going to be Godzilla versus this specific monster. And, I mean, I'm ready for it, man. I'm so ready. And what else did they said that they were going to be starting with modern design. So I don't know if that means we're going to be getting Godzilla and Kong first. I don't know if that means we're going to be getting what, honestly.
Singular point.
Oh,
dude, God Almighty! No, yeah, it's funny because me and Gams, we had this conversation a while back talking about how if NECA were to continue, things we would like to see, and we talked about the 2-pack series, make it each 2-pack the movie, like throughout the entire lineage of Godzilla movies, and why not? And
that exactly sounds like what Super 7 is doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
They were in on you guys. They fucking bugged your shit, bro.
I think I know who the mole is. He's sitting in the upper left corner. His name's JR. But I'm going to go to you, Gam. What do you think about all this news?
Oh, I'm super excited. All of these Super 7s coming out, what they've said that they're going to do with the Ultimates line. Granted, I've always wanted, this is more expectations than anything, but I was hoping something about interpreting the Trendmasters figures in a super articulated fashion. But I'm happy with movie accurate designs. I'd be down for that. At first, because Trendmasters didn't only went up to Heisei, so once we get to Heisei, maybe we get Trendmasters variants. Because they're going from the most recent and working their way down with the Ultimates line. So there's still plenty to be excited about. And as for the reaction line, yeah, it's a pretty niche line. Only like people with Kenner nostalgia really go in on that, because they're based on the old Kenner designs for like Star Wars and stuff. What they've shown off so far with the two Godzillas, the Rodan, the Mechagodzilla, all look very, very cool. I still, to this day, refuse to see that as 57. It looks like 62 to me, but whatever. That's just me.
Typo.
But even the representative with Super 7 swears up and down it's 57. I'll believe it when I see it.
It's 57, Drew. Get over it.
Whatever. We've had our arguments. You literally bullied me in the figure shop over in your Discord server. Shameless plug.
Oh, we get to the plugs. Trust me, the plugs are coming.
But other than that, yeah, I'm super excited for Super 7. Like, I feel like I'm probably going to full convert from SH Monster Arts over to Super 7 myself. So that's just me.
Since I don't collect like that, and the things that I do get are few and far between. Godzilla Day, Rob. Me and Gam, we were hanging out pretty much that entire Tuesday
I taught him
night.
how to use Zen Market.
Yeah, he showed me how to use the Zen Market. So now I have the Universal Godzilla ride. Godzilla coming. It's a beautiful statue. I can't wait for that to drop.
He got the X Plus ride Godzilla.
Give it to me. Give it to me, damn it.
Oh.
I was just in Disney a couple weeks back for my daughter's birthday. Yeah. I bought myself a Godzilla versus Biollante Mondo. This is what I do. And I don't have the money for this, but this is what I do. And my wife is very lenient when it comes to it. I still haven't taken that damn thing out of the box because I still can't get it out of the box by myself. I'm terrible at this shit, but I have nowhere to put it. I digress. Gams, what do you think about the Super 7 line and the Ultimates?
Don't you mean JR?
I do. It's been a very long day, and I'm telling you, this isn't even start hitting yet. Oh, JR! Same question.
So, I mixed feelings. I like the idea of bundling them in 2-packs. Great idea. You get the movies out of the way. You get the figures that we've been asking for. But I've got some negatives to it. If they're starting from the most modern, I don't want another legendary Godzilla. I have fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10, 11, 12. I have 12 legendary Godzilla figures. I'm done. If I see another legendary Godzilla put on the goddamn market, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. That being said, it would be really awesome if they started with Godzilla Singular Point, since, I don't have my Monster Arts yet, and it looks like shit. Also, another negative, we were talking about this in another podcast, how we were speculating, Super 7 would be replacing NECA. It seems like with that price point, they're a direct competitor to Monster Arts. So we still have no replacement in the affordability range for the average collector
That's me.
Actually, there is something that just came about that might actually answer that question. Rob, go ahead.
Hiya Toys is going to be making articulated Godzilla figures now.
Okay, so I did see the Hiya Godzilla versus Kong statues, and I do hope their posable figures look better, because I was looking at the previews of those statues and I was not impressed. Too glossy, detail.
Oh yeah,
like
very glossy.
The detail was like, it was soft detail, and it reminded me of like if early NECA did statues, and that's where I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get those, mainly because, like I said, if I have to buy another legendary Godzilla, I'm gonna quit life pretty fucking early. I've had enough.
That's the unfortunate point. I think their start-off point is the MonsterVerse, so yeah.
It's the biggest.
I love the MonsterVerse.
But you got to think about it. It's the biggest thing that's out right now. Make no mistake about it.
Yes.
I mean, Singular Point is Singular Point.
100%.
I was actually watching Singular Point this weekend. I can't lie. I was watching it. Episode 10. Still the best. But it is the biggest thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Could you imagine the appeal if the Universal Godzilla was to cross over? If Toho was to start using that in marketing out here in the West? I mean,
yeah.
That is the perfect Godzilla, in my opinion, as of right now. The look is perfect. But yeah, I mean, of course they're gonna start with Legendary. It's what sells right now. It's the thing.
And that's fair. But I'm the type of person where, I have almost all the Monster Arts that have been released. You know what I mean? I have both GMKs from Monster Arts, both GMKs from NECA. Do I need another GMK? I need a Godzilla 2000. I need a 2004 Godzilla. But do I need another goddamn GMK? No. I could even argue I don't even need another 2002, 2003. Because NECA put two of them out, and then I got the Monster Arts one with the Kiryu. You know what I mean? It's like, I get where they're coming from, and it's smart financially, because it's the most recognizable immediate. But if every company is doing that, minus whatever the fuck Toho's promoting on their Twitter, that limited 100 fucking bust, god damn. But if that's what we're gonna do, is just stick with the modern shit, I'm out. I don't need any more. Maybe more Ghidras. But
what is Toho doing? I didn't see anything. What is this limited bus thing? Not the Heisei thing, right?
Toho on Twitter announced from the Cool Pops a gigantic 1993-94 Godzilla bust, and it's limited to 100 only, and it's supposed to be...
The bust is the same size as the suit.
It is. And it's prop replica. It's really dope. Limited to 100, and I was looking at people's estimated price points. Remember the last toy podcast when we were talking about how ridiculous those Prime 1 busts were?
Yeah.
Over that. By thousands.
Yeah, even more expensive than that. Yeah, only rich people would be buying this.
Wait. Yeah. I saw a price point, if we're talking about the same thing, the thing I threw up in the chat yesterday, it was $3,500. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's fucking expensive, but that's what we're talking about, right?
It should be.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
So those Prime 1 busts only go for about $1,000 to $2,000.
That's true, and those things are gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, but they're not life size. I mean, could you imagine having a fucking replica of a Godzilla suit from the greatest era of all time, the Heisei, in your house? Because I had to throw that in now. I threw that in now. We'll get to it later. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm mentally prepared. But for any Godzilla suit, and for that matter, $3,500 is not bad for a replica-sized bust. The problem is the 100 limited release. That doesn't make any sense. 1,000 maybe, but only 100? Hey. That's rough.
None of us are going to get it.
Oh,
I can honestly say that right now. None of us, not even financially. The bots are going to get to that shit, and you'll see it on eBay for $10,000.
Yeah, that's.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
In 4 fucking days, it'll be on eBay for $10,000.
Oh yeah,
Each
for
and
sure.
every fucking one of them.
It's what happens with mine.
Yep.
I was very, very lucky to get the Imperial variant of the 84 vinyl.
I'm still jealous.
Like, I jumped on that the millisecond it was available, and I barely scraped by before it sold out.
I was there.
Did you get that one, Shinra?
No, I didn't.
Damn you, Cam.
I decided too late that I wanted to nab, and it was much too late.
Yeah.
So
How many variants are they doing of the 84 and Hedorah vinyls? Or are they done?
I don't know if they're done. Let me check.
See, and that's the problem I have, like, especially with the these bots. I said this before. This is not an Xbox. This is not a PS5, even though that's readily available. 5 variants?
Yeah.
Christ.
The Super X, the Cherry Blossom, the Imperial, and the Miami, and then the 84 variant. They might actually be done. I think all those came out already.
Yeah, all those came out. So I think they're done. Probably then.
I'm seeing prices now: 250, 135.
That was my question. Thank you.
Yikes!
Damn.
Yeah.
And that figure is what? That figure is what? Like 5 inches?
The 84 is about 8 inches tall, and the Hedorah is about 6.
Jeez.
Okay, here's the crack pipe, and here's the people on eBay. Or however you smoke crack. That is absolutely insane. In what world would... I can't say that. People will pay that.
They will.
Yeah.
And they have. They absolutely
That's why
have.
scalpers are still grabbing PS5s.
Hey,
That's why they're still grabbing Playmates figures, too.
Yeah.
That's shocking to me. Do you think the Playmate figures are gonna be scalped?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the new one's coming out with Godzilla Terrestris and all that, without a doubt.
Huh. I would think that.
Won't stop.
I would think that
Shelves
Playmates
for a minute and then it'll be gone.
That's crazy.
Easy.
I would think Playmates would put enough out to satisfy, to more than satisfy customers. Shit, because I remember
it's not that. It's not that. It's the scalpers are taking advantage of the fact that we fucking can't get them here fast enough because of the backed up shipping shit, the ports and everything from COVID. We can't get them here. So when they get here, the scalpers buy them all up. I guarantee you next year, all the shit from Playmates we haven't been able to find, you will find everywhere in abundance. Absolutely. We're going to be behind. I would say figure collecting, we're going to be behind like 2-3 years.
So so what you're saying is you're not patient. To me, patience is a virtue. So I remember Playmates from back in my Ninja Turtle days, and I'm talking about 87, 88, when I would go to the store and Mom, I need that Ninja Turtle, Mom. Mom, I need that Ninja Turtle, Mom. Mom, I need that. And then, of course, Christmas comes and you get all of them. And those were always on the shelves. But, the unfortunate thing is we don't have toy stores like Toys R Us anymore. KB. We don't have that. You have to go to a comic shop. You have to go to a novelty shop, a record store sometimes, someplace in the mall. And it's rough.
Target.
Oh, yeah, Target. I forget about
good luck with Walmart and Target, because half of those, I know from experience, half of those employees hold shit from boxes and then just take it home and put it up on eBay.
Yeah.
No, I got one for you guys. So McFarlane did that limited release of that Batman statue for like $50. My buddy found it at Target earlier this week, and he calls me. He's like, "Dude, I fucking got it." I'm like, "No shit, Travis. Like, that's fucking awesome. How'd you get it?" He's like, "I had to fight one of the fucking employees for it." I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, they were trying to hide it in the back and trying to say it was supposed to go up on the website, and he's like, bullshit. I see the price tag. I'm buying it. Customer gets first pick, not the employee. And he had to talk to the manager, and the manager was like, "Give it to him."
I mean, it's a
Give it
business.
to him now.
Fucking G. What a fucking G. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely. Listen, man, look, at the end of the day, them big stores, they need the money and they want the money now. They ain't waiting for it later.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. They know they're not going to see any of that profit. They're going to, the employer is going to see all that money. The employee is going to see all that money because they're going to jack the prices up. I digress. I can't be a toy collector in this day and age. I just can't. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all do it.
Well, I got a guy, so...
Oh,
I go out...
My guy is Gam Gam.
Well, see, I go out once every 2 weeks, and I take an entire fucking day to shop. Apparently, there's a new toy store that opened up in Ontario, Oregon. It's about a 30-minute drive from my house. I'm going there this Saturday to see what the fuck they've got. And from their website, they have a Mezco 112 Doctor Strange that I'm going to pick up. But my birthday's right around the fucking corner. I can buy whatever the fuck I want right now, and it's like a hall pass for me. Nobody gives a shit. So I'm like, I'm going to stroll in there, and I'm going to nab that fucker. And I don't even collect Marvel figures, but Doctor Strange is dope.
Well, it's going to be dope coming May when that movie comes out. But I digress again. Yeah, I mean, look, again, I thank y'all for telling me about all this stuff. Like I said, Gam Gam's my guy. He's like, no, go to this website, go get this, get that, do it now.
The thing is that Rob's my guy.
So yeah, I'm living vicariously through Gam Gam because of you. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
When it comes to getting shit overseas, I'm just gonna throw you guys money and just be like, fucking just get it to my house for me, please.
That's what I told Gam Gam. I was like, what if I give you the money? I was like, what if I just give you the money? He was like, no, here, let me walk you through it. And he held my hand, and he walked me through it. And I'm still, though, I can't lie. We're in February now. It's February 17th as of this recording. Where the hell are those Mezco Destroy All Monster figures? It's Mezco, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is Mezco.
I thought that was supposed to come out in January, the first wave. Where the fuck is my figures? I want them, and I want them now.
I think they got delayed.
They were delayed to May. Both sets, I believe.
So wait, are they going to drop both sets in May? Because I could have sworn the second set came out in May. Damn.
Yeah, I think they're both dropping in May because I check the website ever so often because I ordered directly from them. And last I saw was May for that. The Mothra set, I don't remember, and I think Hedorah is still September. So.
Which means because we ordered ours through Big Bad Toy Store, we're not getting ours till a month after. Because Big Bad doesn't get their shit till a month after release.
I got mine through Awesome Collectors for the payment plan.
Well, look, I'm patient.
I got mine. Mezco.
Yeah.
I'm impatient, so I can't afford to be patient.
You also have a very important you also have a very important toy unboxing channel, so I get why you're impatient. I'm just putting them shits up on my bookshelf, like, oh, you fit perfectly next to Ghostbusters Afterlife. I love it. So
I loved Afterlife.
Yeah,
I did read. There was a post on Facebook from the SH Monster Arts Articulated series. They keep people. They're pretty accurate with their shit, with their news and everything. And they said that the ports shit's kind of starting to get a little better. They said people that ordered their special color version Ghidra should be starting to get them within the next month.
Oh yeah, one of the people in Shinra Jira's Discord server actually got his already. He's shown it off in pictures.
Shit.
Okay, nice. So that worries me because of the sheer amount of Monster shit I have on order that was supposed to be out a month ago. Like that fucking Mechagodzilla that's nearly $200. I'm shaking.
And whose tips of the tail breaks off if you so much as wiggle it.
Stop.
Oh, dude. That thing is going to be in one pose and one pose only. Just like my Kiryu. I don't fuck around with that shit. When it comes to the mechas, I put them in one pose and then just fight the urge.
That was quite the finding out that those tails snapped as easily as they do.
Yeah, they snap very easily. Like
I have my quarrels with SHMA, so.
Oh, don't even.
And
begin
you're paying
with me.
Wait, and you're paying how much for these figures? They're just...
Mechagodzilla is $120.
Well, plus tax and shipping, it's costing me $180.
Wait, which Mechagodzilla? There's a bunch of them.
2021
Monsterverse.
Ooh.
$120,
Ooh.
and its tail snaps off
Let me
easily. You could sneeze on it, and it'll break.
let me tell you something. While that's not my all-time favorite Mechagodzilla design, I love it, but I would totally buy a Lego version of that.
Yeah, right?
That's
right.
Dope as shit.
I would totally buy a Lego version of that guy. Oh, there you go. Speaking of Mechagodzilla, he's chilling with me today. All right. Old school 74, my guy. But, all right, before we get into the good stuff, what we're really here for, put my tie on. Real quick, the last thing. So, Chase, who isn't here with us, he was popping news in our chat about, like, a new clothing line. So, let me ask y'all this. Not even about the clothing line, just the merchandise in general. Toho seems to be going all out. We had Cavity Colors like last year doing lines, and that they're going to continue to do lines. Now we got this new thing. What was it, Ghost X something or whatever?
GXD.
Yeah,
I think that's what we were talking about it earlier.
Now
Yeah, we were.
I did like that shirt, that the picture they showed. I like that
Yeah,
shirt.
with the 54 and the graffiti style Godzilla logo and all that.
I'm all in for that. Like, legit, that's, my God, man. What do you guys think of this? What is Toho doing? Is this like, their plan to dominate the globe? Because
general merch like clothes and whatnot, I am all here for it. No, the more the merrier. Give me all of the shirts. Give me all of the hats. Give it all to me. If I can find it here, I have a Godzilla lanyard that I wear around my neck at work.
I have a Godzilla lanyard also, but I got it hanging off my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade machine. Thank you, 1UP.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, that's the one I have.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit! I got that's the one.
That's that one. What the shit?
Dope.
I love this thing so much.
That's dope. I should start wearing mine at work. Because there's kids, I swear to God, this kid yesterday, he had this dope Godzilla shirt on that I haven't seen before. And I'm like, my man, that's pretty fucking dope. Matter of fact, that's the best shirt in the entire school. And he thought I was G'ing on him. And I'm like, no, bro. I got a Godzilla tattoo on my arm, bro. That shirt is dope. And he was just looking at me like, yo, why you messing with me? I'm not, damn it, dude. If I didn't have to wear a fucking uniform, I'm like, if I didn't have to wear a uniform, I'd break out all my damn shirts. I'm a fan, brother. I'm a fan.
All right, like every time I go for a job interview, I'm like, hey, tattoos acceptable?
But yeah, all right. So yeah, this merch shit, and I do like that there's a variety now on the playing field, especially when it comes to shirts and shit. Because I love the shirts. My wife, she gets mad at me because every Christmas I'm like, there's only a couple of things I need. I need a funky pair of socks and some dope-ass shirts. That's it. And cologne. Because by the time Christmas comes around, I'm out. But, again, that being said, you boys ready to talk about when Gam Gam messaged me during Super Bowl, which, by the way, fuck the Super Bowl, and was like,
game.
Would you like to have this conversation? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I've been waiting since the Super Bowl to have. I wish we could have done it during the Super Bowl, honestly, because I was just like, I can't watch this damn game. But again, this conversation, Gam Gam, I'm going to let you introduce this whole thing since it was like from your brain.
Well, it wasn't my brain. This was all Rob's idea.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So Rob brought up to me, hey, yo, Drew, I just want to have a decent intellectual conversation with some people who aren't squeaky little kids who just like the monster scenes and they don't ever elaborate further. What is appealing to the about the Heisei era? Because me and Rob, we just don't see it because, everything after Biollante is just all downhill from there.
Wrong.
For me, it's a very steep downhill when it comes to Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. It goes back up a little bit with Godzilla versus Mothra, but then it just keeps on going down steadily.
You're wrong. I would know.
Totally.
So wrong.
You're wrong.
I just want to know because, I mean, I've done like movie tier lists and everything, and people ask me, it's like, how do you hate Godzilla versus King Ghidorah in 1991? It's just like, the monster's this, the monster's that. It's like, what else about these movies do you like? I want to know. And it's like, every time I ask, it's just, well, Godzilla did. And it's just like, okay, this isn't Sonic Adventure 2. You're not telling me that you like just the Sonic and Shadow levels and you hate everything else. It's like, no, this is a Godzilla movie. You have to tell me what else there is that you find appealing to it. Because if it's just like this one sole singular thing, do you really like the movie? You like parts of it. You don't like the full movie.
Like the movie at that point.
And I just want to have a conversation with people who actually appreciate these movies for what they are, because all I get in my comment sections and all of this, oh, but the monster scenes were so dope. It's like, what about everything else? What about everything around it, leading up to it? What about the drama surrounding the people in these situations? Like, paint me a picture. Paint me a picture. Why is the Heisei era the best to you? And nobody ever gives me my goddamn picture.
So
nobody ever gives me anything other than
the monster scene.
Godzilla did this. It's like we're with Godzilla for a hearty amount, yeah. But what about everything else? Do you fast forward? Do you check your Facebooks and your social medias? Do you play checkers with Grand during all that? Like, what's going on? That's it, because that's all I want. I just want to have. I don't want to turn this into an era war. There's more than enough fighting in this fandom.
No, absolutely not. That's what I no, and that's how Gam Gam presented it. Like, let's have a gentleman's conversation, because I agree with you, and I'm not trying to alienate the fandom, but let's be honest. There are a lot of kids who discover Godzilla, especially now, through the legendary movies. And
Absolutely.
Then you go back. The same thing that happened with when 98 came out. When 98 came out, I mean, there's still people, grown-ass people right now with children who say, I found Godzilla because of TriStar.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's cool.
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
I'm the one. I'm one of the people. I started with Godzilla 1998 and worked my way backwards.
And that's what, as Godzilla fans, you should do. Like, oh shit, what's this? What's that? What's that? You know, again, I was one of those lucky dudes who was watching old school Godzilla movies on Channel 5, Channel 9, Channel 11. Like, I got to see them in New York on broadcast television. And I was like, this is the best thing in the world. You know why? Because of the monster scenes. Because as a kid, that's all you gravitate to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about the alien invasion plot unless the UFOs look good. And let's be for real here. Godzilla vs. Monster Zero had some pretty fucking dope UFOs because they were just classic saucer-shaped UFOs, right? So, then they had Rodan. Second greatest monster in motherfucking Toho. You know how I feel about Rodan. Everybody does. So, things like that. As a kid, it's all about the monsters. But, and as Gam Gam and JR and pretty much everybody else knows, my biggest takeaway is shit blowing up. And I love me some good explosions. Michael Bay, look, you ruined my Transformers, but you had some decent explosions. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But Toho, and this is why I love giant monster movies, the destruction sequences, seeing buildings crumble and burn up as a child during the Showa era was everything I ever wanted. So could you imagine my surprise to find out they continued that shit after 1985? Because 1985 was the end all in my eyes. I was 7 years old when I finally saw Godzilla 1985. And that's because I might have been 8. And that's because it finally was released.
Hey, you watched that in theaters, didn't you?
I tried to. Mom, I'm still mad. I tried to. She wouldn't take me. She wouldn't take me. I was standing in front of the movie theater, downtown Brooklyn, the Metropolitan, Godzilla 1985, poster right there. I'm like, Mom! And she's like, no, get out of here. We're going to the bus.
My heart weeps for you.
Oh, it did. Trust me, I was fucked up. So I was like 6 years old when that movie came out. So when it finally came out on VHS, I was like 7. And so, yeah, I had to watch it when I was 7. Because I'm pretty sure as soon as it came out, there was like, rent the fucking movie, fam. And it was everything. It was epic. And I'll tell you why it was epic. It was the fucking battle with the Super X. I was like, look at this thing killing Godzilla. holy shit. And then, of course, everything, the destruction sequences, again, that was it. But even at a young age, there were certain things that always got me. Like, at a young age, I always knew, like, I'm into movies. And it's not just the spectacle of the movie. It's everything involved. The process. At a young age, I realized that. And because of Star Wars. Star Wars was the epic. And it still is. It is the epic, right? And I sit there, and even now, and I'll watch it, and I'm like, fuck, it's so dated. I love this movie. I love this series. I love this franchise. Except for the sequels. And I'm like, this is just perfect, right? That's how I felt with Godzilla. This movie, as a child, I'm like, why is Godzilla fucking shit up when he just killed Mechagodzilla again? Or not again, because I never seen the first Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I only seen Terror of Mechagodzilla. I was like, why is he fucking shit up when he was just a good guy blowing up this Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus? Like, what's going on? Yeah, I had no clue. I didn't understand the difference between what the Showa series did and then the reboot, where it was like 54 happened, nothing else did, and here we go, 1984. I had no clue. So as I start growing up and I'm seeing it, and then you start, oh shit, wait, what? It was continuity. And this, my friends, is why I absolutely love and adore the Heisei series. It's the continuity. And don't get me wrong, because I, over Christmas vacation, watched every single Godzilla movie ever made, except for the Netflix trilogy. I absolutely took those out. I only watched the live action things. And as I'm going through the Showa movies, I'm like, there's very loose continuity here, but it's there. It is there. It is very much there. And I loved it, right?
Especially if you watch stuff like Varan and Rodan and War of the Gargantuas, it's pretty much a cinematic universe.
Yes, and I didn't even watch any of those. I just went straight Godzilla timeline, right? Yeah. And I had like a newfound respect for the Showa series. I've always loved it because, again, that's my legit childhood. But Godzilla's Revenge, for instance, I couldn't believe how much I loved that movie watching it this time around. I was watching the Japanese. Still love it. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was watching the Japanese dub, and I was like, you know what? This movie's grimy. Like, there's these two grown-ass robbers trying to kill a kid. What? Like, as a child, I didn't see that. You know what I was looking for? The monsters. So I get when you hear, like, the children doing it, and don't get me wrong, I know you're using children as a metaphor, because you really are. I know there are some dudes out there about my age, maybe younger, maybe older. It's the monsters, the monsters. It's not always about that. So for the Heisei series, it was the continuity, and I mean the strong continuity, from 54 all the way through Destroyer. 84 is my favorite Godzilla movie. Again, I'm going to use Star Wars as an example. Empire Strikes Back is regarded as the greatest Star Wars movie of all time. I can't argue that. But my favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi. That's how I look at Godzilla 54 and Godzilla 84, Return of Godzilla 85, whatever you want to call it. 54 that's the greatest. It's the pinnacle. But 85 is my absolute favorite, right? And then that jump-started this whole series that, now as a teenager, I had no idea existed. The internet was in its infancy. I wasn't in the tape trading, scene. I had no idea. It wasn't until my brother was in the video store and was like, yo, I'm renting a Godzilla movie. And Godzilla's on the cover. We've never seen it. And I was like, what are you talking about? We've never seen it, right? This is my little brother. But we never see. What? Godzilla's on the cover with a giant rose. Shut the fuck up. That's a bootleg. I don't know what you're talking about. And lo and behold, we put the movie on. It starts up with Godzilla 1985's ending. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And it was continuity. So, yes, while some of the plots are subpar, you can't sit here and say that everything that the freaking Showa series did was groundbreaking work. And don't get me started on the Millennium series, because that shit is shit. It was the continuity. It was, and there's a lot more to it, don't get me wrong. Because the monster sequences, and I will say this, the monster sequences, not in all those movies. They're not all good. Some of them, I'll be like, I'll argue with you until fucking next year. I'll be like, nope, 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 nope. Like, for instance, my opinion, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, 93. It wasn't a... Rodan, my second favorite monster, was the only disappointment in that entire movie for me. I didn't like the suit. I didn't like the puppet. But everything else, to me, the fight sequences, dope. The story, I'm with it. I loved the fact that they had G-Force introduced and they're building something to stop Godzilla. And yes, it's a Mechagodzilla. We don't get the classic trope. We don't repeat the trope of alien invasion. The Showa series in the latter half was all, not even the latter half, from Invasion of Astro Monster on, it was alien invasions. It's a fucking trope. There was only one invasion movie in the Heisei series, and that was Space Godzilla because he was from space. So it was things like that that I really just, I gravitate towards it, you know? And again, like I said, it's not just the monsters, but the suits. You can't tell me shit because the suits were way better. Way better. Way better. So I'm gonna leave it at that for now because I do want to hear everybody beating me up. I'm expecting humongous punches in the face right now.
So you love the continuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What about the continuity is appealing? If it's just there, just for the sake of being there, it's pointless. Like, I appreciate the fact that they try to keep it like nice and tight and stuff, but like when you got a admittedly very subpar movie like Space Godzilla trying to connect to both Mothra and Biollante, what does that do other than just make those movies worse just by association?
No, I get you there. Now, don't get me wrong. Space Godzilla is my least favorite movie in the entire Showa series. I mean, Heisei series. But you also got to remember, the Heisei series was like this many movies as opposed to the Showa, where we can totally argue that there are vastly more Showa movies that are than they are in the Heisei series, right? Now, with the continuity, it's like this.
Well,
I like comic books, right?
Yes.
You read a comic, you pick up a comic book. I'm going to use Saga as an example because I just started reading that. This shit is great. This is a great series right now. I'm only on issue 12. And I'm like, holy shit. Why wasn't I reading this shit when it first came out, right? The continuity in that right now is just on par. It's just perfect, right? You don't get that with movie series. You just don't. Especially after a 30-year gap, they decide to go back to the beginning. I've never seen that before in anything movies. That was Toho did it first. It wasn't Star Wars. It was not Star Wars. A 30-year gap, and they decided to go, we're going to make a direct sequel to the first film. What? So, again, as a kid, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like, wait, why is Godzilla bad all of a sudden? But as I got older, in my teenage years, when I seen Godzilla vs. Biollante, and I'm like, wait, this shit keeps going? And then my cousin worked at a video store, and the owner of the video store knew that I was a Godzilla fanatic because we used to run in there all the time and rent Godzilla vs. Monster Zero and Terror of Mechagodzilla. Terror of Mechagodzilla was the first Godzilla movie I saw on VHS. My father rented that and Pinocchio. I'm not making this up. 1983. 1983. And I had never seen Terror of Mechagodzilla before because it was never on TV. And I was like, what the fuck is this? There's a robot Godzilla! So, now imagine 15 years later, 14, 15 years later, I'm in the video store. And he puts on Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 93. I had no idea. I was like, what the fuck is this? Is this real? Is this real? Are you fucking with me? What is this? Why is it in a different language? I had no clue. All I saw was this dope-ass looking Godzilla. And again, this is the monster shit, right? Because we didn't watch the whole movie. He just had the ending on. And I'm like, is that supposed to be Rodan? Whoa, is that Mechagodzilla? What the fuck is this little baby Godzilla thing? Blew my fucking... I think I was like 15. Blew my fucking mind. I was like, oh my God. I had no idea that there was a Mothra before that, a King Ghidorah before that. They had the Trendmaster toys. I thought they was making shit up. I swear to God. I was like, yo.
What is King Ghidorah? You fucking with me right now, Trendmasters.
That's exactly. I was like, what is Mecha King Ghidorah? What the fuck is a Space Godzilla? Like, because they had a Rodan, if I'm not mistaken, they had an Anguirus. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, why are they just making shit up? Don't get me wrong. The concept of a Mecha King Ghidorah is fucking dope. I had no idea there was actually a Mecha King Ghidorah. And then I seen that movie and I was like, oh my God. This is one of the greatest costumes I've ever seen. It's one of the greatest suits I've ever seen. And it could maybe go
Damn, it never moves.
Listen. What did King Ghidorah in the Showa series do? It just bobbed its fucking heads around. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It didn't do shit. They did the same exact thing. Except they slowed it down a bit. It was a little more methodical. It looked like a fucking cobra. I'm just saying, you could go watch it again. I just finished watching all of them. Better than what they gave me in motherfucking Millennium, I'll tell you that.
Says the guy who likes Final Wars.
I love Final Wars. You cannot argue
Final
that.
Wars is so good.
That's just a great movie, bro. That movie, Final Wars.
That's like my number 4, dude.
Listen, Final Wars is the happy ending on top of the happy ending. That's like, oh shit, you got me, motherfuckers. But
Rob, got anything to add?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Nope.
Well, I proved your point. Did I prove your point? That's why.
Well, no, you didn't prove really anything. Neither me nor Rob like Final Wars.
Oh no, I was talking about the Heisei monologue I was going on.
Yeah, we're talking about the Heisei era in general. Yeah, I am glad that I heard something other than, but this is all monsters and everything. Yes,
right. And there's a lot more to it. Honestly,
okay. I have a legitimate question.
Yes.
Besides Miki Sagusa, besides standout characters like Dr. Hayashiya or Goro Gondo from Biollante, besides like the really standout people, tell me a character's name from any of the Heisei movies.
Colonel Azo, General Azo. General Azo. He was pissed. He wanted to kill Godzilla since Mechagodzilla. And then at the end in Destroyer, he's like, I don't give a fuck. Melt him down. I don't give a fuck. Kill this motherfucker. Super X launch. Am I lying?
No.
I mean, you're not lying.
Hey, I'm on your side, Ray.
With that one.
No, you know why though? Because he's one of my favorite characters. I like strong military dudes. And even though he was kind of like bureaucratic almost, he was like in charge. He wasn't on the field. That's what the Heisei Gamera movies did well. They showed the guys in charge on the field. And that's why if we were arguing Heisei Gamera over Godzilla Heisei, because it's really it's no contest, and I'm a Godzilla fan. I'm just saying.
But there is no contest.
There really ain't no contest. But see, that's a podcast I'll never do.
Well, see, I like.
Okay, why do you like Heisei, JR?
So one thing I have to state in every time I'm doing a quote-unquote review of a Godzilla movie is I have to disassociate my fanboyism of Godzilla and let the critics speak, because when I review a lot of fucking movies, which I do, when it comes to certain series, I have to remove the fanboyism. Sometimes I don't have to. Ergo, why Godzilla King of the Monsters is my favorite Godzilla movie of all time.
Oh, I'm going to throw up. Hang on, give me a second.
But when it comes to the Heisei series, I love the fact that there is a continuity, which is a point that, yes, the fact that, even more so than the Showa series, it's almost like they were like, let's continue the story a bit. And I can't name names from the Heisei series because I'm terrible with fucking names. I can't remember names to save my goddamn life. Instead, I remember actors' names, like Kyle Chandler from King of the Monsters, But that's the only fucking guy's name besides Dr. Serizawa. It's not because, like, oh, this movie sucks. I'm terrible with fucking names. But when it comes to the Heisei series, I'm one of the very few people who sits here and says Godzilla versus Biollante is a shit movie. I'm one of the very few people that sits here and says Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is a better fucking movie. And the worst movie in that series is Mothra Godzilla Battle for the Earth. Ooh. I hate that movie.
Come on, it got a nice Indiana Jones vibe.
Oh, yeah.
It also has, I will focus on that one specific, it also has the most batshit fucking rip-off plot since Godzilla vs. Destroyer blatantly ripping off aliens. They're ripping off Indiana Jones! They're literally...
big flaw with the Heisei era. They rely too much on copying Hollywood.
It works.
Yeah, Jurassic Park
works.
93 Mechagodzilla. You're absolutely right in that.
But it works. It works for me. Now, Godzilla 1984 and 85, I love both versions, minus Scream of Godzilla at the end of 1985. I shut it off when he gets to the volcano. I'm like, I don't want to listen to Godzilla scream.
It breaks my heart.
It breaks my heart. The original 1985, that I was on the floor crying my fucking eyes out. I had a puddle.
It's awful.
It is. Terrible. And Raymond Burr's speech doesn't make it any better. Athletic motherfucker.
Thank you.
But Raymond Burr coming back was one of the great... yes. As a returning fucking... I love Raymond Burr. I love Perry Mason. I love him as an actor. Not just because of Godzilla 1984. I'm a fan of his. I loved what he stood for and all of the stuff. He was a great guy. Surprisingly, not a lot of people talk about, he was also homosexual. Love the fact that he was.
The greatest gay actor of our time.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I know, but right now.
You could never know. Yeah.
You didn't know Raymond Burr was gay?
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
You should have watched the Criterion version of 54 with the commentary on. David Callen's an amazing guy.
But yeah, so
all about Raymond Burr's secret of not secret, like his affront affair with an actress to try to hide the fact that he was gay back in the 50s.
Yeah.
Damn. I had no idea. None whatsoever.
One of the very early ones.
King.
Which is awesome. Love Raymond Burr. But 1984 and 85, plot-wise, story-wise, which is what makes it the best out of the Heisei series. It's phenomenal. Both versions. It absolutely is. Except sometimes the puppets don't match up with the suit, or the suit don't match up with the puppets, and then the foot coming down was a little awkward, but the time I could get past. it. I love 84. It would make my top 10. Godzilla vs. Biollante, plot-wise, is absolutely, unequivocally fucking boring. The spy shit, cool. The scientist shit, cool. We just had a shit ton of that in the Showa series, so you're doing it again. Okay, I'm not talking about the monster fights. Love the monster fights. I love how some of the characters from Biollante carry over to other movies in the Heisei series. I love that aspect. But everything else is boring in it. And then we get to Godzilla, Mothra, Battle... Or no, it's King Ghidorah. Sorry, skipping around. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
He was skipping because... You skipped because Gam Gam was giving you the look.
Travel movie ever made.
Gam Gam was giving you that look like, just skip it. Don't even say it.
I have to talk about it. Yes, time travel-wise, it's shit. But I also grew up with Back to the Future, and that doesn't make any fucking sense how the time travel works either.
It makes a lot more sense than Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah.
But does it?
Yes, it does.
There is only one movie in Back to the Future. Well, I mean, by the end, sure. But one movie that actually has the implication that, no, we're in an alternate timeline. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah just doesn't state it blatantly. That's the only problem.
Okay, but like the counterpoint to that is, if they are working on, like, say, the stable time loop theory, right, where if you go back in time, you can't really change anything, because if you don't actually do anything, then you're going to be the one that causes the event you're trying to prevent to actually happen. Kind of like grandfather clause theory, where you become your own grandfather.
That's scary.
Like, then why did they, like, going back in time trying to erase Godzilla? Oh, they just created the Heisei Godzilla. You actually didn't do anything. By doing that, they somehow changed the future from a utopian society to it being destroyed by Godzilla. So how, by not doing anything, did you actually change the future? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because they were lying. They were lying. It
made that they lied about Godzilla destroying Japan, right? And that it was a utopia. But when they went to go get King Ghidorah out of the bottom of the ocean, the dude asks Emmy, "Why are you risking everything for this dead country?" Implying that Godzilla, by bringing Godzilla back with the nuclear submarine to kill King Ghidorah, they destroyed Japan. I thought you didn't do anything.
That could be fair. But that in of itself is you stating that the movie itself is nothing but specifically focusing on time travel, as time travel is just a backdrop. Like in Endgame. Like in Back to the Future. If you want to sit here and honestly sit here and say that Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is a movie specifically about time travel, it fails. But it's not. It uses time travel as a backdrop to progress the story. In that case, I can sit here and enjoy it and overlook it, because as annoying as it is to some people, it's batshit fucking insane and I love it. It's the first and only fucking time in a Godzilla movie where they ever implemented time travel. Shit, yeah. And that's where I'll say that is the most unique Godzilla movie in story-wise of all time.
Can I jump in?
It really is.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
And I'm not to ape off of JR right now, but a little bit. One thing I loved about the Heisei series also was, with the exception, and I didn't even think about what he just said about Godzilla versus Biollante and the spy stuff. Like, I never really put that together with some of the Showa stuff, only because the spy shit was from, like, a bad guy's perspective as opposed to, like, Interpol, you know? But the Heisei series didn't recycle tropes from the Showa except for the Mothra movie. And what I mean by that is, and even that, they deviated. The beginning of the beginning of Mothra versus Godzilla, right? The typhoon, the egg, all of that shit, right? They did the same thing. That was cool. They recycled. I get it. But then the movie kind of deviates, because in the original movie, Mothra already existed and her egg was lost, and then we had the twins, right? Whereas this one, it was the egg. Mothra existed a millennia ago. The egg washes up, and the fairies are not, like, Infant Island is not even, like, it wasn't even a nuclear, it wasn't because of nuclear fallout that everybody shrunk. They were fucking aliens. Right? Like, that's the only aliens in the entire Godzilla Heisei series. The cosmos. There's only aliens, right? Again, except for Space Godzilla, because he was formed in space, so technically he's fucking alien. But we don't talk about that one, right? So that was what, like, that was another thing that I liked about the Heisei series, is like, they weren't recycling. Like, when I saw the Millennium series, and I had so many high hopes because of the Gamera trilogy, that Toho's coming out the gate swinging. They're coming to take the crown back. And there was nothing. Not even the director of the Gamera trilogy, which, don't get me wrong, I love GMK. But not even that can top what the Gamera trilogy did, right?
Yeah.
The Heisei series was its own thing. They told its own stories. They did not go back to the past. What they did do, and this is where I get mad at it, we had the same monster. But think about it. You only had, basically all you had, the same monsters was King Ghidorah, but then you had Mecha King Ghidorah, which was brand new, right? Like, oh shit. Mothra, obviously, but then they gave you Batra instead of another Mothra lava. And then, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, which is my favorite of the Heisei. Heisei. Yeah, they were all there. All my favorite monsters was there. Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and Rodan, even though I didn't care for that Rodan thing. But none of those stories mimicked anything that came before. They were different. They were new. So, if you want to compare, like, Millennium to Heisei, you got an argument. Because Millennium was ripping the fuck. They were ripping off Showa all day, every day. They were ripping it off.
Yeah.
Heisei stands on its own. The way Showa stands on its own. Showa paved the way. They created all this shit. But then you have Space Godzilla. Come on now. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking Godzilla in space. But the design is fucking dope, right? It's a cool fucking design. The monster fights in that movie, I don't like. It's not my favorite movie. It's not my favorite movie. Right? It's not. There's a couple of sequences that are like, that's cool. That's cool. One of my biggest things about the Heisei movies, too, is the matte shots. I love me a good matte shot. I love seeing Godzilla here and in front of a superimposed background. That just looks good. Space Godzilla had a couple of those that were like...
Yeah, with like Godzilla coming up on the shoreline of the island.
The shoreline of the island, when he's going to fight Space Godzilla in Fukuoka, and he's like, you see the people in the foreground, he's over there, and then the mountains are in the back. It's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous shot, right? Things like that really, really makes me love this series. Because it ain't the monster fights. It's not. Because a lot of it is beam wars. Absolutely. And a lot of it is close-ups. Boom. Boom. Godzilla versus Destroyer. Let's not get it twisted. All you see is just like close-up shots of them just smacking each other. It's nuts. And then maybe Godzilla hits a spine on Destroyer's chest and there's some green blood. It's crazy. It's not like Godzilla versus Biollante where the tentacles wrap around Godzilla. And nothing like that. I mean, these are the things, and that's not even all of it, but these were the things that I was like, this. Again, I love the continuity aspect of it. I really do. I got to see Godzilla go from 54, then get a sequel, and then seeing this Godzilla go from 84 to death. That, to me, is insanity. You can't kill my favorite monster off again. You did it to me twice. You killed him in 54, and that's one thing. You threw him in a volcano. You made my 7-year-old self ball on the floor, fucking puddle, where my mom had to mop it up and then hit me in the head with the fucking mop. Because that's how parents parented back in the 80s. Damn it. But I don't want to get into that. Right? You made a mess on my floor, motherfucker. Bang! I'm sorry, Bob. And then Godzilla melts down. Yo. I remember I was in high school. I was a senior. And somebody had a copy of Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I had no clue this movie existed. No clue. I didn't have a fucking computer yet. There was no internet. Like, for me, in my household, we couldn't afford it. I had no clue this movie existed. Again, I wasn't running around in the tape trade game. So when this dude pulled this fucking box out, I said, what is that? He goes, oh, this is the movie where Godzilla dies. Shut the fuck up. And all I saw was this crazy demonic thing with a fucking horn and a Godzilla with red veins and red eyes. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I swear on everything, I plotted to kill this motherfucker so I can take the tape home. I swear to God. That's how I was like, he's lying. But what the fuck is that? Because that's Godzilla. And I know that says Godzilla in Japanese. I know the kanji now. At that point in time, I knew the kanji. I was like, what is this? This gotta be real. It's gotta be real. And of course, I didn't kill the kid. And I didn't see that movie until like later that year when my parents bought me all the sets because they went to a G-Con in the Chrysler building, for crying out loud. Who would have thought, right? So,
holy shit.
Yeah, true story. So that's how I got my Heisei collection, and they are in a box. I call that shit the Holy Grail because it's the Holy Grail. But it was things like that. And I understand individual storylines, what are these characters, but I dare challenge you, okay? There is no character in the entire show ever outside of Godzilla, right? And Dr. Yamane that pops up in that series. There's no... They move from one end to the other. And don't get me wrong, I love how Destroy All Monsters is supposedly, taking place in 1999, right? For that continuity. So then when King Ghidorah dies in that, but then you see him back in Gigan, you're like, wait, right. Because Gigan's supposedly taking place in real time and not 1999. I can get that. I get that. I buy it. But where the fuck is Gigan? Where the fuck is Megalon in 1995? Megalon never died.
He fucked off back home.
Yeah, he went back to Zootopia. Gigan died in Zone Fighter.
He died in Zone Fighter. I remember that. But again, Gigan died in Zone Fighter, but then so did King Ghidorah. Head scratch.
That's where the continuity of the 1950s.
JR. Maybe if they went back in time, right? Like maybe a certain Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. I'm just saying. I'm just asking. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to sit here and apologize for Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. I mean, there's shit I don't like in it. There's a lot of goofy shit.
Absolutely.
It's just, to me, it's super fucking creative.
And I will give Gam all his points because they are valid.
Oh, yeah.
For that movie, they are valid. And, I'll never forget. And the message on the phone, I'm reading. I'm like, man, fuck this motherfucker making all this sense in the world. Like, how is that? I was like, I totally get it, right? Like, I totally get it. But at the same time, it was different.
Like there is no Dr. Mifune in the Heisei era. I fucking love Dr. Mifune. There's no Controller of Planet X equivalent. I love the Controller of Planet X. One of the best characters written in the entire fucking franchise.
No, Nick
you
Adams.
hate Final Wars.
Fucker was in 2.
Yeah, you hate Final Wars, though.
Movies.
Why do you hate Final Wars? Because he was there.
That's not the Controller. That's a child throwing a tantrum.
Exu.
Who watched a little bit too much of The Matrix.
Dude, that's why Final Wars is the best Godzilla movie of the Millennium Saga, because it was absolutely what Gam said before. It was every Hollywood trope that succeeded thrown into a movie. I'll take it.
Plus some 41.
Yeah.
Plus some 41.
I don't know who asked for some 41, but we fucking got it.
Hey, we definitely got it, and then I had to learn about that band and their beef with Nickelback and that whole fucking thing.
Okay, well, I mean, if you have beef with Nickelback, like, you can just get the hell out. Nickelback sucks. You got better shit to do with your time. Like, enough. Who cares?
This is crazy.
Dude, at the end of the day, some 41 wrote Fat Lip, so Nickelback, what the hell do you got?
Exactly.
I was kind of
nobody wants to be the last one there. It's like, okay, fuck off. No.
When it comes to seriously though, like, I'll get off Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. That's a hot topic. But Godzilla versus Mothra, creative story. It does kind of, with the Mothra and the fairies, but Batra's in it, one of the fan favorites of the Heisei. And that's another thing. Most people that are Godzilla fans, their favorite Godzilla enemies come from the Heisei. Biollante, Batra, the design for Mechagodzilla, people fucking really love that design. Destroya is one of my favorite monsters of all time, even though Monster Arts fucked up my figure and it's got what I call Destroya leg, and I have 2 fucking Monster Arts with that loose-ass ball joint that I can't tighten. Thanks, $160 fucking dollars. Anyways, I'm gonna move on from that. But a lot of, they came out swinging with creature designs for those movies, and then updating the look. I mean, King Ghidorah in 1964 throughout, I mean, he looks cool but goofy. They made it look cool, not goofy anymore. Awesome. Mechagodzilla, I prefer the original to Mechagodzilla 2, but I do understand why people like that design. I mean, fuck, I wish I had a figure other than my Treadmasters of it. Thanks, Monster Arts. Always releasing shit when I have no money. And I can never get it again. Batra's a fantastic design. Space Godzilla, look, that's my second most hated out of the Heisei is Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, but Space Godzilla looks phenomenal, and Mogira, a monster from the Mysterians,
nice upgrade.
got some obscure-ass fucking robot that they just had laying around. Let's throw that in there. Made it dope. Granted, or go ahead.
So, the only thing I don't like about Mogira is that is not the successor to Mechagodzilla. I'm just saying that shit doesn't come close to being the successor to Mechagodzilla. That was the only thing that bothered me. But I love that they did take a character from an obscure Toho movie, and I say obscure because everybody's Godzilla, and they don't know about the Mysterians or Gorath or Dagora or even Varon for the fucking hell of it. You know, they know about Rodan and War of the Gargantuans, but hell, some people don't even know about Frankenstein Conquers the World, which is a fantastic.
Well, and fucking Atragon.
Oh, and Atragon.
That has fucking, Atragon's in there. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a shit ton. Which I have downloaded them because buying them is a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's why I use a little service called Show a Video.
Oh.
But, you know...
After the podcast, talk to me, please.
The designs are phenomenal, you know, and it's creative. Now, I will say this. The creative well, story-wise and character-wise, I could say started to dry up real fucking quick. Because a lot of the characters started to feel samey, a lot of the situations that the humans were in. We're in a bunker watching monitors. Next movie, we're in a bunker watching monitors. The next movie, bunker watching monitors. But that's a trope of that specific series. Yeah, it's like, it starts to copy itself from its own series, which, you know, fine. That they were running creatively bankrupt on what to do with characters in a Godzilla movie. I mean, what the fuck do you do with human characters in a Godzilla movie?
You do this. I'll tell you exactly what you do. You do this. You take a character like Miki Sayagusa, right? Yeah. And you take it from a teenage psychic who discovers Godzilla's coming back, basically, because that's what she did in Biollante, right? To her actually loving Godzilla, to her reluctance to shoot and kill Godzilla, thanks to one General Aso, by the way. Yes. And then to see that character arc, and she is the glue that holds that whole series together. She really is.
She really is.
She really is. And then, I mean, even in Space Godzilla, my least favorite movie, right? Because I thought in Mothra,
she was the main character in that one.
She really was. And even in that one, like, you know, again, she's reluctant. She's like, I don't know if it's right to control Godzilla. Like, basically, in the words of Ian or Jurassic Park, let nature take its course. If I'm quoting that right, Chase might kill me later.
Yeah, if that nature is constantly slaughtering millions of people on a yearly basis.
Well, again, that's because Godzilla 2000 wasn't around yet, and we didn't have the Godzilla Protection Network. I'm just saying.
Which they should have brought up in other Godzilla movies. I loved that. But
that's the Millennium Series for you.
99 isn't a part of the Heisei, and it pisses me off because I love that fucking movie. But from the beginning, though, of the Heisei, you get a goddamn good, definitive fucking ending to not only the overall story of what it's playing out, but of Godzilla.
Yeah, that's...
He was evil. Godzilla versus Space Godzilla is when he starts to turn good. You could argue... Venom. Yeah, you know...
Okay, I have a counterpoint to that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Godzilla vs. Destroyer, amazing ending. Amazing bookmark to both the Heisei era and looking at the series as a whole. Great ending with Godzilla dying. The rest of the movie is boring and not very good. Like, literally, the Yamanes. Why do they even have that same name? You could literally take that name away from them, and they'd be the same characters.
Wrong.
Because of the Oxygen Destroyer.
Yep, and because of Emiko's connection to it. That's what it is.
It connects it to 1954.
But I'm talking about the kid who just randomly gets into G-Force because he's smart.
No.
And the reporter girl. They're Yamanes. Why are they Yamanes?
We just explained to you why. Because of Emiko. Emiko is still alive. So when she sees this news report,
she's just a cameo.
No, but it doesn't matter. That's her family. That's her family.
It's lineage, man.
It's lineage. There's a very important part in that movie where she's talking to the reporter and she's telling her, whatever she is, great niece, whatever she is.
Niece, yeah.
Niece. Tell this dude to stop it. The reason why my husband or betrothed sacrificed himself was because of this very reason. Please tell him that. I mean, it's in the dialogue. I'm not making that up. She's begging, pleading. I've seen this before. Please don't let this happen because this man sacrificed himself so this wouldn't be weaponized. And you're doing it now. And it looks like you can weaponize it. And yeah, you're saying it's another thing. Oh, we can grow superfood from it. No, it's bad. Trust me.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be bad. And that's why they were in it. And I love that. I love the callback to that. Yeah, I love the callback to that.
It connects it, and it shows that Dr. Sarah's sacrifice meant something this far later. Because eventually someone was going to develop the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
And this is the movie where it happened. And that's where that dynamic, that lineage plays into it. I can understand the kid maybe being introduced sooner in the series would have been awesome. Something they didn't think about. Oversight, whatever you want to say, bad writing. But I like the implication that's there. That's like Dr. Serizawa sacrificed himself not only to destroy Godzilla, but to destroy this being used. And yes, someone was going to develop it again. Who's the one person that could be still living that's seen the effects of what it can do firsthand?
Yep.
It completely makes sense to me.
And remember, she's old school, too. She's like, dude, no. Don't do this, please. And that's the thing. And that's why Serizawa in 54, this is why I love the Heisei series. Because when you get to destroy it, you bring it full circle and you're like, wait a minute. Serizawa was like, I can't let this fall into the wrong hands. This cannot go nowhere. Because look what just happened in Japan 10 years ago. And yes, I know all of a sudden, because of this, we have Godzilla, right? One of the best lines in all of Godzilla history comes from Godzilla King of the Monsters, the 1956 version, the American version. And it's when Ogata tells Serizawa, you have your fears, which might become reality, and you have Godzilla, which is reality. And he says that in front of Emiko. Now that was the 56 King of the Monsters. But let's just say hypothetically that all was the same thing, and that might have been said off camera, right? In 54. That's Emiko's response in Destroyer.
Yeah.
Holy shit. His fears is now reality. And he sacrificed himself for nothing. And I can't let that happen. So being the matriarch of this family right now, I'm going to let you know. Please stop it. Please, if you have respect. And remember, different cultures. We're different as Americans. We don't really get the culture outside what we see on television. We don't live that life. So it's more of a respect thing. Because let me tell you something. As someone who works in a school, all right, these kids don't respect no one, right? But that's here. Over there, there's, again, the hierarchy. Think about it. Yo, Ogata got shut the fuck down in 54 when Dr. Yamane was like, all you want to do is kill Godzilla instead of study it. And Ogata was like, oh, I'm sorry. Right? He backed off. And it wasn't until Serizawa was like, okay, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it my way. And that's what Emiko was telling, and that's why the Yamanes make sense in that movie. It was a callback, but it made sense. It made sense because now the fears are realized. This man sacrificed himself for nothing. Not like in the legendary universe. he blew himself up. And then this dude, the doctor, was like, "Oh shit, Serizawa got this lizard jacked." I'm like, please somebody shut this guy up. Please.
But it's just the oxygen destroyer being there in general too. Like, you have to have the connection. In my eyes, and this is just me, I don't know if anyone else feels like it. When you have the oxygen destroyer, you have to have Dr. Serizawa, either there physically or spiritually. And that's it. That it's there in Godzilla vs. Destroyer for me. You know what I mean? He's there spiritually. You know, Emiko, and talking about Japanese culture like that. They respect the shit out of their ancestors and fallen family members. So, I mean, yeah, her speaking on his behalf. I mean, it's not completely far fetched.
And then
you know what I mean?
And then you take that and you juxtapose it with Shinji. Not Shinji. Shinji's father. Yeah, Shinji's father. No, Shinji is the father. The son, the little kid, the kid.
Yeah.
He's all about the now. That's a great dynamic. Whether it's executed, the idea is there, right? Because there's a shit ton of movies that the ideas are there, but the execution sucks. I'm looking at you, Matrix 3 and 4. But it's there. And so he's all like, well, we're in the now. We're not dealing with shit back then. This motherfucker's gonna, 1, melt down or blow up, or 2, melt down. We gotta figure it out. We gotta stop it. And the only way to stop it, sis, because remember, the sis was like, we gotta shut it down. He's like, no, we don't. We need this. We need the oxygen destroyer. We need micro oxygen to stop Godzilla. He was all for it. He was the future fighting the past.
Yeah.
And that's all in the movie. It's played out. Again, whether it's played out to your liking or not, if they do the best at executing it or not, but it's there. And all you got to do is just, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know?
Okay.
Destroyer is, I love Destroyer, I hate Destroyer. The only reason why I hate Destroyer is because it ended something that I loved. We still got Godzilla movies. Hell, we got really good Godzilla movies, right? To this day, we got a great Godzilla show on Netflix. Even if you don't understand that shit, and Gam wants to make fun of you, right? But it's still dope.
Oh, I'll make fun of people who say that the singular point is confusing till the cows come home. It makes perfect sense to me.
But this is what the Heisei series did, that the Showa series did, that the Millennium series did. It went full circle. I appreciate Godzilla swimming off into the sunset, even though it was the ugly Mechagodzilla suit from '74. At the end of Godzilla versus Terra Mechagodzilla, I mean. I appreciate
a cliffhanger.
Huh?
It was a cliffhanger. Anthony always said it was a cliffhanger ending.
But that's why I was so fucked up in my head when I saw Godzilla 1985 for the first time. Because I was like, wait a minute. The last thing I saw, right, was Godzilla. And again, at that time, too, I didn't know if there was anything in between. There's nothing to tell me that. There was no internet in the 80s. We didn't have computers. I had an Intellivision video game system. That wasn't a computer. I had an Atari 6200. That wasn't a computer. I got to play Pac-Man, Tron, and Dungeons and Dragons. That was it. On boxing. Boxing was pretty cool on Intellivision. But I had no idea. So the only thing that I knew was Godzilla swimming off into the sunset, and then all of a sudden he's busting out of a fucking mountain, and he killed everybody on his fucking ship. The fact that they even went so far as to show the actual carnage, right, of Godzilla's decimation with the fucking mummified, if you will, body of the captain and the crew. That shit was gory as fuck. I've never seen that in a Godzilla movie. They didn't show Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. There was some gore. And I was coming home today thinking about this podcast, and they had some funk on the oldie station, and all I kept thinking was Godzilla versus Hedorah. I was like, yo, that was a dope soundtrack. Which is my coup de grace of the Heisei series. The score. You can't sit here and tell me, you cannot say, and don't get me wrong, if there was anything recycled from anything from the Showa era, it was the score. But then there was added shit. For instance, the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla theme is my all-time favorite Godzilla theme of all time. It takes the march. I love the march. It takes the march. It's the great. For me personally, it's the greatest. It has power. It has power. It shows what mankind can do, in my opinion. What mankind can do if they come together against a single threat. That's what G-Force was. It wasn't just a Japanese thing. It was an encompassing thing. They did it from Mechagodzilla, Space Godzilla, and Destroyer. They had people from America. Fucking Dr. Asimov was German, if I'm not mistaken. It was people from all over the world. And granted, you had a limited amount of people. I wish they would have used some of the people from Biollante, right? From Seradia, just to have a different, this whole culture. But that's hindsight. This was a global effort. And the Mechagodzilla theme felt like it was a global effort. And this is from a man who created the most iconic music outside of John Williams. For that...
Well, the thing about it is, according to... Rob, didn't Corey say this? That the Mechagodzilla theme itself, like the theme used in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla in 1993, like the opening theme whenever Mechagodzilla's on screen, all that, even that is recycled.
From what?
From a non-Godzilla Toho movie.
Okay, so I don't know that because I've never seen that movie. So the first time I saw it, the first time I heard it, guess where it was? In a Godzilla movie.
What? Which movie was it from, though?
I'd have to ask him. I don't remember.
Yeah, so, I don't even remember that.
So then let me ask you a question. Are you going to deny the maestro his due because he ripped it off?
I love Ifukube. Do not get me wrong. I love Ifukube, but he does rely a little bit too much on recycled themes, and that is a legitimate criticism. I do love the music. I love the music itself. The updated Godzilla theme, fuck yeah, I will listen to that all day, every day. If I were to say that just because it's recycled that it's shit, then I have no right to love the Bear McCreary soundtrack.
Good call.
But it is a point to make slightly, at least, against it. It's still great music. I still love it to death.
But that's my... And I
but
get
it's
you.
just another...
I can actually sit here and say, did he do the soundtrack to Godzilla 1984? Because
he did not.
Okay, because I was going to say, nothing's recycled in that movie, and that is the best soundtrack.
When it comes to the original composers for
it's a great soundtrack.
84, for 84, for Biollante, and for even Space Godzilla with because Space Godzilla had that forget his name, but he composed Space Godzilla, he composed the anime trilogy, and he composed Godzilla 2000.
What?
Okay.
I
know what you're talking about.
I had no idea.
That's probably why I love the soundtrack to Godzilla 2000. That's just fucking amazing soundtrack.
Yeah. I will never knock those three composers because they bring fresh ideas to the table. And while Ifukube is doing nothing but recycling, they are fantastic renditions of that recycling.
It's traditional, but new. It's like a fresh coat of paint over that rusted-ass car.
Rob, you have been quiet on the against Heisei thing. I have been talking here. Do you have anything?
Wait. Before you go, I just want to ask one question real quick. Do we know if Ifukube did something else prior to Godzilla? Well, actually, I know that answer. He did. The Godzilla March is from something prior to 54, if I'm not mistaken. I saw that summer of last year, and I was like, oh no. Am I bugging? Or did anybody see that too? Because
I've heard.
Because if they come from a Godzilla movie first, then I don't care where else it was used. It came from Godzilla first.
There's music from, what was that? The Mysterian, Battle in Outer Space, that movie, that theme music from that are actually put in Godzilla movies after that it came out.
But Toho Godzilla movies?
It originated in that.
But Toho Godzilla movies? Because remember, America had a... Okay. Because America
the
used
show
to just...
series, so... Yeah, no, Battle in Outer Space, I think that's the name of the movie. But I know there are tracks in it where he created the music for that specific movie, and they start throwing... Or he was throwing it.
Yeah, they did that for Godzilla vs. Gigan because Tomoyuki Tanaka was not pleased with the composer for Godzilla vs. Hedorah, so they wanted Ifukube, but Ifukube did not want to score
what
it himself.
A shame.
So
fucking Hedorah soundtrack.
Movies.
That, like I said, I was driving home and I heard some funk and I was like, oh shit, Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Yeah, like, this is shit
I was
right
driving around fucking downtown Los Angeles and I was thinking of Hedorah music.
It was an absolute crime that Tomoyuki Tanaka banned Yoshimitsu Banno from ever making a Godzilla movie ever again.
I agree. I agree.
He should, because Hedorah is just fucking bonkers. And
it's a good fucking movie. It's creative.
It is. It's very creative. And... that movie very much was on the shit that was rolling around at the time, acid. And I could absolutely never say anything bad about Hedorah, for sure. As a movie, as a design, as an everything.
I mean, I could say a lot of bad shit about that movie, but I still love it.
Well, yeah.
Listen, that's just, it's a product of its time. And of its time, I think it works. Because when I watched that movie again, I was like... I don't care that Godzilla's flying. I don't care. I don't care.
That's film history.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what anyone says.
It absolutely is.
I mean,
one of these days we have to do a podcast on a review of Godzilla vs. Hedorah, because I feel like everyone would be against me for a lot of the shit I have to fucking say about that movie. As much as I love it, there are a lot of things.
Well, I think if me and Gam Gam ever linked up in real life, he'd castrate me because I've been saying, oh, we're gonna do the reviews real soon. We got like, we got to like maybe.
It's been how many years?
Yeah,
we got to Mechagodzilla.
All right, wow, okay, Mr. On the books, shit.
I remember because I was a part of them, and that's the last one we did with Anthony. Because he did nothing but rag on it, and I argued with him for like 30 minutes, because I love Mechagodzilla for how stupid Mechagodzilla is. And he was like, no, you're just stupid. I was like, no, I don't think so.
Well,
anyways.
Real quick, before I'm going to get to you, because honestly, you have been quiet. I just want to finish off with this, for me, and this is it, with the soundtrack. I get it, Games, because there are movies where you hear that Ifukube theme a lot. Themes, plural. But 93 Mechagodzilla, like I said, it just felt right. It felt like it was the world against Godzilla when Mechagodzilla was on screen. It had this pomp and circumstance. And then you take it to Destroyer. And... that had a hard soundtrack. You go along with that movie, and again, it's not because the monsters are fighting, but it's when the music elevates anything. That's why there's soundtracks and scores to movies, because they elevate scenes. And the score for that elevates certain scenes, and none come better than the Requiem. Where this motherfucking Bear McCreary put that shit in King of the Monsters, and there's no way nobody can tell me that's not the Requiem. It's the Requiem. It's Godzilla melting down, and then it's Godzilla resurrecting. It's unbelievable. And then the final score, the credit music, incorporating the entire lineage, going back to Showa, man, listen. Put my cigarette out. Put your blunt out. Put the crack pipe out, okay? Stop popping meth or smoking it, whatever you do with it. That was it. That was it. And as a dude, what was that? I seen these movies in 97. In 97. So Godzilla vs. Destroyer was out for a year, 2 years. And I got them in 97. And the reason why I knew that is because I was almost 1 year with my wife, right? As we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And I got them all for Christmas, and I made her sit there and watch every single Heisei movie with me for the first time. For the first time. We watched them together, and she's not into that shit, but I made her watch it. And at the end, when I saw Godzilla vs. Destroyer, and the music, and the ending, and just everything that went with it, I was like, nothing is ever going to top this, unless they make new Godzilla movies. And they did, but they don't, and that's my argument. So I digress. Rob, man, talk to me, brother. I know. Please, just get at me.
Well, I mean, I came here to hear, love for the Heisei era, and I absolutely got that. And I really don't have anything to argue that, because you guys gave me your homework, you showed your work, and I appreciate that to all ends. I'm not going to argue my differing opinion when it's just that, an opinion. Like, we could go back and forth on how one of us likes King Ghidorah and how I think it's probably one of the... Oh, God, how do I say it nicely? I genuinely don't like Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991. I've had a root canal done, and I think I'd rather experience that again. That's me putting it, in a funny way. I never want to start anything with anybody. I want to hear. And I came here to hear, and I feel like even I have a newfound appreciation for it, because I got to hear what people like about it. I didn't have to hear the same fucking shit over and over again that I get in my comment sections, whether I reply or not. And that to me is beautiful, and it's fresh, and I appreciate that. That being said, I hate 95% of the Heisei era because I genuinely just can't get through them. Mechagodzilla puts me to sleep. I hate King Ghidorah. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, I actually kind of like a little bit now. And Destroyer, I'm up and down with, Godzilla dying. Beautiful. So sad. First time I saw it, I saw that shit on the Sci-Fi Channel back when they actually showed movies. And I cried my eyes out. I was 13 years old. Hadn't seen a Godzilla movie in who knows how long. Cried my eyes out. And I always will get that little tingle in the back of my throat and a little twinkle in my eye when I see that. It's a powerful freaking scene. It's just for me getting there, it's a bit of a trek. That's just it. Alien stuff is kind of cool, though.
It is, though.
But for the most part, though, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to hear love and appreciation for the Heisei era that wasn't what I get in my comment section whenever I even so much as bring it up. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the love for these movies because there's a lover of every Godzilla movie out there, be it 98, be it the anime trilogy, be it Singular Point, be it Godzilla Raids again, which I'm also up and down with.
I love that
and
I'm a fanboy. I'm sorry. I'm a fanboy. I love that movie.
It makes me sad sometimes. Every time that dude crashes into that glacier, I feel something, man.
Oh,
but
yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir.
End of the day, man, I got what I came for, and that's all I wanted. I don't want to argue till the pigs come home. But I will say something. Because Drew's let me know some things here and there. Shin Godzilla, a remake of Godzilla 1998?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, we're doing it.
Let's go.
How? I just want to know how. Oh no, he's putting on the hat.
Oh, it's finally coming on. You haven't put it on.
Oh no.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun. Let me tell you something, you young whippersnappers here. You wasn't there when I was there. You didn't go and walk 17 miles to the theater to see that blasphemous idea fucking reptile remake of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. No, it's the wrong
The
movie.
Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
I'm old, you son of a bitch. I got a hat on. I'm a different character.
The best rebuttal to that.
There you go. I saw the Rhedosaurus come up in New York City in 1998 And they said it was Gojira. What did you see, old man? I'll tell you what I saw, god damn it. I'll tell you what I saw. I saw the Rhedosaurus. He yelled. A taxi exploded. They said it was fire breath. I said no. But then I saw later. There was some kind of dragon shit. What was the name? With the Matthew McConaughey guy. Dragon fire, whatever. The fire came out from the mount. I saw that. I saw a bunch of little Godzillas running around. Madison Square Garden.
Fire?
Yeah, it was fire. Ring of Fire. That's a good movie. They got
hold on a second.
they got dragons in that movie. Dragons are real. Damn it. Do your goddamn research. They're real. They're called dinosaurs nowadays. You know what I'm talking. They make movies about them. Major blockbuster Jurassic Park shit. I saw 1998 plagiarize the name of Godzilla. I saw it in my own eyeballs in the movie theater. Cut to about 20 some odd years later, maybe not. I don't know. I'm old. I don't do math. I count money. I tell time. That's all I do. And I see this shit Godzilla movie. I said, what the fuck is this shit? This isn't a Godzilla movie. I fucking hate it. Stupid. It's dumb. But I go see it twice in the theaters because, hey, it's the first time I get to see a Godzilla movie. Original Toho Japanese Godzilla movie in the theaters since Godzilla 2000, which was dubbed in American for me because I'm stupid. I can't read right. I hate that movie. It's stupid. That being said, my great-grandson over here, get your ass over here. Get over here. What's up, Gramps? You son of a bitch, come over here and talk about this movie. Well, I watched that movie.
Oscar.
Thank you. I watched that movie over the, again, Christmas break.
Okay.
And as I said, I watched all of the movies in succession. Not in order, but I watched them in succession. And what I did was like, all right, what I'm going to do is, I know Shin Godzilla comes out after 2014, but I'm going to do all the Toho films. Except for, all the Toho films. Then I'm going to do 98. Show her to Heisei, right? 54 to Destroyer. Then I'm going to do 98. And then I'm going to do the Millennium series. And then I'm not going to watch 2014. I'm going to watch Shin Godzilla. That's how I did it. And then I did, the legendary movies. So I kind of pretty much boom, 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 boom. And then 98 in a bubble.
Gotcha.
So I watched Shin Godzilla. And for the first time, I watched it dubbed. And I'm like,
ooh.
But here's the deal.
That's a bad dub.
But that's the deal. Like, the dub made me love this movie. You know why? Because I didn't have to read 15,000 things on the screen at once. Like, for instance, I'm watching the dub, and they're talking, and I'm paying attention, and all of a sudden, right on the top, it says, hallway to the Prime Minister's office. Okay. Now, if I was watching the original version, the subbed version, I wouldn't have even peeped it. I would have been like, fuck, I'm missing something here. I'm lost in translation. What the fuck did that say? Because this went so fast. I got to read what the fuck is so... I got to read what they're saying to understand the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. And that's one of the things I still hated about the movie. It was like, there's no reason to tell me you're in the fucking elevator. But they do. I don't give a fuck where your mind or mental state is. That's stupid. Every fucking way. It's stupid. But again, I digress. This movie reinvented Godzilla the way 1998 reinvented Godzilla. And you cannot tell me that did not happen. Because that's exactly what it did. It bucked the trend.
It's the greatest Godzilla movie since 1954, but okay.
It's the greatest reboot since 1998. You're absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right.
It's the worst Godzilla movie ever, minus Godzilla vs. Kong 2021.
See, now you're making me fight a war on two fronts, motherfucker. You better stop that bullshit. Fucking best movie in 2021. I don't give a fuck about you Spider-Man fans. Fuck you, Spider-Man fans. That movie was dope, though. I digress. It bucked the trend. It said, forget 54. We're starting anew. The same way 98 did it. So right off the bat, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm seeing this movie now in a whole new light. I'm like, and let me tell you something. The last time I watched that movie was at the beginning of the pandemic, right? Mm-hmm. And I was going through some health issues. All here, by the way, all mental. I was fucking my own self up. And I watched that movie, and my arms started to tingle, and my breath started to get short because I raised my blood pressure up. I was so fucking mad. And I haven't watched that movie since, and I didn't. I really, in my head, I was making conscious efforts to not watch the movie again because I was like, I don't want to feel like that again. But I said, let me watch it. I swear to God, I didn't want to die watching a fucking shit Godzilla movie, right? But I was like, let me watch it. Let me watch it dubbed. Let me watch it in the English version. Let me Funimation this bitch, right? And I did. And again,
fucking Funimation.
Exactly.
Oh,
and I watch it, and I'm just like, there's so many fucking reasons why that movie is a fucking reboot of the 98 movie. It was... Dude, the Americans name it Godzilla. The Americans in Shin Godzilla name it Godzilla. In 98, guess who named Godzilla? Outway? You don't know? I'll tell you. It was an American. The Americans do it. These are the things where I'm like, you know what? If I look at this movie in a completely different light, right? If I look at this movie as a remake to this 1998 bullshit, right? Which was a remake of something completely different than Godzilla. Well, then, holy shit. This movie's fucking
Even though
fun.
Shin Godzilla is a remake of 54, but all right.
You can keep saying that to yourself. Because in that case, so was 98. So was 98. It's the same fucking name. It's a completely different being. Completely. And you know what? Shin Godzilla and 98 both have... Well, I can't really say that because 98's been in more movies. I'm just saying. He's been in more things. Shin Godzilla ain't going nowhere. And I ain't mad at that. I might be because maybe we would have got the sequel to 98 with Toho in Shin Godzilla, and I'd probably be like, this is great. But I started looking at it that way, seeing the similarities between the two movies, and they're both fucking Gino. And I was like, oh my God, I love this movie now.
Godzilla in name only.
And I fucking loved it. And I sat there and I was like, they basically did this. Whereas 98 made a remake to The Beast of 20,000 Fathoms, Shin Godzilla made a remake to that movie, but they ate Godzilla. I said, get the fuck out of here. The way Godzilla 98 ate Rhedosaurus, Shin Godzilla ate 98's Rhedosaurus and said it was Godzilla. And it made it look like a thing, something similar to Godzilla. Zombiezilla.
They made it look like a Evangelion monster.
Hey, Anthony, you know I ain't lying. So if you're still around and you're listening to this right now, you better hit me with a message because you know I'm right. It was I haven't had an epiphany like that in I don't know how long. I was like, yo, this movie works.
Anthony would be here calling both of y'all stupid.
You crazy? He'd be in here right now making out with me and probably, you know what I'm saying?
Shin Godzilla.
That's what I'm saying. But I would have twisted it on him, and he would have been like, you're absolutely right. I'm telling you right now, Anthony would have, he probably been sucking my toes. I'd be like, get off me. That shit's nasty. I'm telling you, to enjoy that movie, I looked at it in a completely different light, and the way I looked at it absolutely made sense. I didn't make anything up. It was all there. I was like, wait, if I take this and go here and then do this, and all of a sudden I had time travel. I was like, oh shit.
You're rich in hell, but all right.
No, I'm not. I'm not. And I get it because I knew that's, look, people who the same way we did with the Heisei movies, right? I love those movies. You wanted to hear why? I hated Shin Godzilla. You loved it. You loved it. Here I am now agreeing with you.
I love it for the correct reasons.
That's not the correct reasons, though. I'm just saying. It's open.
Yes, it is.
It's open to interpretation. And
is it?
It really is. And if you look at Shin Godzilla and you look at Godzilla 1988,
Godzilla 1998
it's the same baseline.
Didn't stand for anything. No, listen.
Same
Godzilla
baseline.
1998 didn't stand for anything. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms didn't stand for anything. They were just stupid monster movies. Shin Godzilla stands for something. Shin Godzilla is about the Fukushima disaster. Shin Godzilla brings back the nuclear allegories. Shin Godzilla does so many fucking things that make it a remake of 54, not Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, not G98.
No, they never used the oxygen destroyer on Shin Godzilla. They never even thought about it.
they gave him a fucking they put a fucking lollipop in his mouth and they shot sperm in him. Here, take this.
Yeah, because they were talking about how he was gonna sprout fucking wings and reproduce by budding. Awesome. That's my Godzilla.
There's gunk.
It's a different interpretation, but it's a different interpretation that works. It's not just a fucking iguana. He's a nuclear abomination.
It doesn't matter the way I
That's
looked
what
at
that
it.
was always
The way I
supposed to
looked
be.
at it, it was a different interpretation. You just said it for me. Thank you. It was a different interpretation, and the interpretation I saw it as.
Call it Godzilla name only. I call it actual Godzilla.
But it's not an
But
actual
he is
Godzilla. It's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
He's a nuclear abomination like Godzilla was always meant to be.
And so was Gino.
Hold on.
So was Gino. It was a nuclear abomination. That's why the French were so adamant about it.
No, hold on. I'm just gonna say this. Godzilla versus Kong is shit.
I didn't even finish this big.
I gotta fucking end every argument with that.
Now I gotta.
Godzilla versus Kong is the worst one now.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the one that hates on Shin Godzilla, but not for reasons other than it's just a terrible, boring monstrosity of poorly put together CGI on a fucking $20,000 budget. Oh wait, I just listed all my reasons plus the fact that the characters are shit.
Wait! Don't forget one of the major ones too. Like, oh, Weez loves this movie because it's got the score from Ifukube and it's got the old sound effects. Easy, Jar Jar.
Sound effects.
Easy, Jar Jar. No. That movie's a remake to 1998.
Godzilla's one of its biggest fucking problems is the recycled sound effects.
It has recycled sound effects and roars.
What?
Yeah, but
There's like 17 different roars.
Recorded in the 60s.
You cannot forgive that movie and say
Which
Shin
one?
Godzilla's bad because of it.
Wait, what movie?
You cannot forgive King of the Monsters for reusing sound effects and say Shin Godzilla's bad for the same reasons.
Time out. I don't like King of the Monsters, so bam.
I can make this argument. The fucking audio doesn't sound like they just took it off whatever the fuck you used to record audio back in the 1950s. They made it sound and fit with a modern day film. They didn't just take the fucking audio recordings from the 50s and like...
They literally took the 54 roar and added it.
They spliced
There was
it.
no editing to the 54 roar. It was just the 54 roar.
When he's the second form. The second form? Or is it the third form? I get my forms
they're in the
confused.
helicopter, and it's spliced because he roars like 2014, and it's spliced with 1954. It starts with 2014 and ends with 54.
Are we talking about King of the
spliced it
Monsters
together.
here?
Yeah, King of the Monsters.
Okay, I got confused. I thought we were talking
Yeah,
about
helicopter scene in that. Yeah,
Shin Godzilla when he...
But it works in that case. Now, like I've said before, Shin Godzilla, if it was an entirely different beast and went with, you want to make a fucking horror Godzilla movie, do it, that design fits, then yeah. I could fucking sit here and say I'd love it. But they didn't do. But I'm a horror fan, and I've been asking for a Godzilla movie that's actually grounded in horror for a very. Why don't they do it? Why not?
I'll tell you what it was.
In Japan has gone downhill.
Oh, here's where Shin Godzilla would have been the greatest.
Unfortunately.
Here's where Shin Godzilla would have been the greatest Godzilla movie of all time. There was a piece of Godzilla cell, which has been established, and all of a sudden, it starts to regenerate. And we don't see this the same way that the Oxygen Destroyer opened up the Precambrian age and those little microscopic things, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's this thing happening underwater. What could it be? We don't know. And then bam, there's this creature. That's, what is it? Could it be Godzilla? And, well, it couldn't have worked anyway because Junior was still alive. Never mind. I take it back. That's why that movie works only as a reboot to 1998. Because 1998 was supposed to be a reboot of the original Godzilla. Didn't work.
See,
It's all there, bro. I didn't make none of this up.
I argue with people about Shin
1998
Godzilla
was a reboot of the original Godzilla that didn't work. Shin Godzilla was a reboot of the original Godzilla that did work.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Because they made the Universal Godzilla, who stole a design from not only the greatest Godzilla era of all time, the Heisei, but then they took an American version, the Legendary, and they merged them together. And I rest my case, Judge.
And he will wither and die away in an attraction in Japan.
I know, that's the sad part.
Horrible handy cam footage on YouTube.
Well,
which big bummer.
Let's go full circle here and talk about merchandising. So now they're talking about the Shin universe, right?
Yeah.
Does that come around? Like, what do we do? Are we using Shin Godzilla to promote Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider? What's going on with that?
Figures, clothing, shit like that. It's like when they did Evangelion X Godzilla because of the Shin Godzilla thing. It's that same concept because Japan likes to suck Hideaki Anno's fucking dick for whatever fucking reason. He's a hack and they need to fucking stop already.
If Studio Ghibli really went ahead,
involved with all projects.
Yeah, which is fucking ridiculous.
Listen, if Studio
I'm tired
Ghibli,
of this guy raping my childhood.
No, he did. Listen. He has not. Listen. All you gotta do is just look at it in a different light. I'm telling you, it changes the entire mindset.
Oh, you gotta look at it in the correct light.
I looked at it in the correct light, and it said remake, reboot,
you looked at it in the wrong light.
Reboot. So wait. What is Godzilla? What is Shin Godzilla though? What is Shin Godzilla? The movie,
Shin Godzilla is.
What is it?
Shin Godzilla is the second greatest Godzilla movie
No.
ever made.
What is it? Is it a remake? Is it a reboot? What is it?
It's a remake of 54.
And
It's
so was
tried and true.
It's a remake, right? It's a remake. The problem with that though is it's really not, because a remake
from the beginning.
A remake would follow all pretty much the same thing. It's a reboot. There's some tropes where it goes to radiation and shit. Those are tropes. So if it's a reboot, the same thing applies with 98. The same thing applies. It's a completely different creature. It's not even the same thing. It sounds like a Godzilla. Right? But it doesn't look like one?
Yes, it does.
98. Listen to me. 98. Doesn't look like a Godzilla. It sounds like it. That's it. It's in a different place. It's in New York. It's in a city.
Still deserves a Bandai movie monster series figure.
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla. I mean, 98.
98.
We need figures.
Yeah, 98 deserves a Bandai figure.
It fucking hurts.
The best 98 figure was that Ultimate Godzilla. That was, and
From Grandmasters. That's a holy grail, right?
Absolutely.
Oh shit, we agreed on something. I think we end the podcast here. Well, shit, we're 2 hours in. Listen, you fellas want to continue? We continue. If not, we rock it right now.
I don't mind.
Listen, just agree to disagree. I think Shin Godzilla is a legitimately good reboot and is deserving of the name Godzilla to the T. And you just think it's a Gino, and I can't disagree more. But whatever.
Wait, time out. He just said, and it's on tape. He just said he thinks it's a great reboot. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case once again. That's all I've been saying.
But you think it's a Gino. You think it's a Gino, and I do not. I think it's Godzilla.
I get it, but they're both reboots. So, same timeline. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this motherfucker up. I want to thank everybody here today. Seriously, this was a good one. This was a very fun podcast. I am glad Gam Gam brought this to my attention during a very sour Super Bowl. So I'm going to start with him. Gam Gam, I love you, brother. Thank you for being here.
I love you too. You're wrong about Shin Godzilla.
I'll take it. You're wrong about the Heisei series. JR, thank you, my brother, for being here.
You all are wrong. Godzilla vs. Kong is the worst one.
JR, man, I'm gonna fucking drive to you. I'm gonna Liam Neeson you. I'm gonna fucking find you. I'm gonna kill you. Shin Rob, hey, bro, I'm sorry. You might know how these get. I'm pretty sure Gam Gam tells you. You get a couple in me, and I don't stop. But, bro, thank you for being a special guest here. I appreciate you, brother.
Anytime. I'm always happy to come back. It's always a fun time here. Who knows for second time. But still, I had fun the first time. I had fun now.
And I want to thank everybody out there. And once again, this podcast is dedicated to our brother, Anthony. We love you, man. Like, you have no idea. But that'll do it.
Man.
Absolutely. But that'll do it for this episode of the Godzilla Block Party. I am G1, and we are out of here. Peace.